Hello grade 9s, this is Mrs. Venti. Welcome to today's video where we are going to start looking at how to graph a linear function. In today's video we're going to look at the table method. Now on the screen you should have these copies with you. We are just going to go through the process of how to create a table. A graph can be sketched by using the table, and these tables we've done in term 2 and you've done in grade 8, so they're not new. So basically what we have is on our first row you have the headings. Our first heading is going to be the x point, then you have the rule, and the rule is going to be the equation. So here, for example, x, stop moving. Here it says x minus 2, and that's going to be my rule over there, x minus 2. Over here, they're giving us the rule x minus 3. Our next point is going to be the y coordinate, and then we have the x and the y as an ordered pair. And I'll show you where you get that information from. So the first thing you need to know is what to put in this column. Now, in this question, in the example, they're giving us numbers. So let's just start with that. The first thing that you are going to do is, let's say our x values are going to be, let's make it entire stroke. Okay, let's say our x values are going to be orange. Okay, so all of these are in orange. You are then going to copy the rule. Notice that the rule says x minus 3. So where the orange is, where x is, I have an orange placeholder. I have an orange placeholder. I have an orange placeholder and an orange placeholder. This stays the same. It does not change. Okay, so everything stays the same except x, and we substitute. X is 0, so I put 0 in the place of x. X is 1, I put 1 in the place of x. X is 2, I put 2 in the place of x. X is 3, 3 in the place of x. Now I'm going to calculate, and I am going to write my answer in pink. So I'm going to say 0 minus 3, that is negative 3. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And 3 minus 3 is 0. Now on the end here, now it comes to the ordered pair. Now what I need to do is I need to take the orange number from here. That's going to be my x number. So in the first one I have 0. Then I take my pink number, which is y, because y is over there, negative 3. But I have to put clothes on it. There has to be a bracket and a comma. So if you give me an ordered pair without a bracket, it's wrong. So for each of them, do your bracket and comma. Bracket and comma, bracket and comma. Now you write all the orange numbers, which are your x's, from the first column. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then all of your pink numbers, negative 2, negative 1, and 0. Our next step is to sketch the graph. So you are going to use this portion over here to sketch. This is the portion that we are going to use to sketch the graph. So remember, when we sketch the graph, all of your graphs must be done in pencil, and you need to use a ruler, and all rules must be obeyed. So the first thing we need to do on our graph is you label it x and y. Now I've done that for you already. Then I need you to number it 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, mistakes that you guys make that I want you to stop making. I have seen you do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is incorrect, because what you are labeling is the line. This is in between lines, and that's not allowed. So instead, you need to label, this is line number 1. This is line number 2. That is line number 3, and this is the line that goes across. That's the line number 3. That's line number 4. Now, remember, on your Cartesian plane, on your number line, going to the right is positive and to the left is negative. Going up is positive, like if you're going up an elevator, and going down is negative. Meaning that going down, this is line negative 1. line -2, line -3, line -4, line -1, line -2, line -3, line -4. Please remember all those conventions. Now we want to draw the line. So the first point I'm going to take is 0, -3. When x is 0, I go to y is -3. So if you remember our movement, you're going to look on the x-axis and you go to 0. Then you look on the y-axis and you go to -3. This is where you draw your x. Now I'm asking you, please draw an x, don't make a dot. Dots are very hard to see and easy to mark wrong. Now we're going to go to when x is 1, y is -2. There you go. Now notice I do dots, but the dots are not the ones where I am going to actually draw the line. The x's are where I draw the line. When x is 2, y is -1. That's where I draw my x. When x is 3, y is 0. Next up, I take my ruler. Now I have 4 dots on the Cartesian, and I want to make sure that my ruler goes through the center of all the dots. This is extremely important. So once I've got that, I can draw my line, and I want to point out to you that it goes to the end of the paper and to the end of the paper. You don't write those words down, but you need to make sure that the line goes from the end to the end. So let's try another one. First thing we see is we've got all of our x values. So now we are going to write down the equation, but I'm leaving a space where x is. So for each one, it's going to be +3, +3, +3, +3. What I don't write is where x is, right? Because where x is, I'm going to use these values. So I put -2 in brackets, 0, 1, and 2. Now I want to solve for y. -2 plus 3 is +1. 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now I'm going to draw my brackets, comma, brackets, comma, brackets, comma, brackets, comma. And I put my numbers in, -2, 0, 1, 2. That I get from here. And then over here, pink numbers, 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I want to sketch. So let's sketch in green. So I'm using these values. And I'm going to go. First things I want is I want to see my Cartesian nice and big. And I am going to put my numbers in, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, -2, -3, -4. -1, -2, -3, -4. Green pens. Well, everything on your Cartesian is in pencil, right? So when x is -2, x is -1, x is -2, then y is 1. There, I go there. When x is 0, y is +3. When x is 1, y is +4. When x is 2, y is +5. Okay, ruler, line up the x's, make sure it's through the center, through the center, through the center. And if you're happy with what you got, you can draw a line. There you go. Remove the ruler, and that one is done. Next question. So over here, they give me the rule. My rule is going to be 3x plus 2. My x values. Now, I want you to use x values that go from -2 until +2. So -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. For all of them, I want you to do that. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Over here as well, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. If I don't give you values, always use those, okay? Now, where there's an x, I'm going to leave a blank, right? So I'm going to write 3 space plus 2. 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 Now I substitute. In brackets, negative 2. In brackets, negative 1. In brackets, 0. In brackets, 1. In brackets, 2. Let's solve. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Plus 2 is negative 4. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. 6 plus 2 is 8. So my coordinates are going to be bracket, bracket, comma, bracket, bracket, comma, bracket, bracket, comma, bracket, bracket, comma. From the x values, I go down and I say negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. From my y values, I go down negative 4, negative 1, 2, 5, 8. Now I'm going to sketch. And on my Cartesian, I want to put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So what am I going to put down? My first point is going to be negative 2, negative 4. X is negative 2, y is negative 4. Negative 2, negative 4. That's my first point, negative 4. Negative 1, negative 1. X is negative 1, y is negative 1. It's 0, 2. X is 0, y is 2. 1, 5. 1, 4, 5. 1, 5. My last one is 2, 8. 2, 8 does not fit. That's okay. I don't need 2, 8. I've got enough points. So I'm not going to draw 2, 8. I'm just going to take what I have that does fit. And then I make sure that everything goes through the center of the x's as best I can. A bit difficult with this one. And oops, now it all moved. Stop moving, stop moving. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, so I've been struggling with my ruler. But there we go. All right, let's do the next one. 2 minus